Fips Africa was exactly the type of programme the Best Bets panel were looking for, a not-for-profit company committed to improving the productivity of small-scale farmers throughout sub-Saharan Africa.
The idea from Fips was to help small farmers gain access to the appropriate farm inputs. And that's the name of Fips, it's Farm Input Promotions Africa. And farmers were lacking access to the appropriate farm inputs in the villages. And not only access to the farm inputs, but information on how to use them the best way.
This is a sample, a small packet from Landed Company.
A major success from Fips has come through the provision of small packs of improved varieties of seeds. They're suited to the local areas and are cheaper for farmers on low incomes. This allows farmers to carry out mini trials of growing crops. Fips also advises on fertilisers and the spacing of crops. By creating demand from farmers, they negotiate with suppliers and manufacturers to make the packs available on a wider basis. The Fips model works on a cascade system. They appoint farmers like Benson Maniaji to operate throughout a rural region. He, in turn, organises training and talks to farmers about planting crops or good animal husbandry. They then talk to their neighbours, so the word on good practice is spread as widely as possible.
If they can produce enough for their families, now they can think of now selling, to commercialize, doing farming as a business.
This is what we call a multiplication site, and we'll bring the seed into the village, and we'll find one of the poorest farmers, and we'll ask them, would you like to bulk this up? This is your food security plot. So the farmer will keep the tubers, and at the end of the season we can take the seed and disseminate it to many more farmers. So that's the critical thing. And you can see here that from one little cutting of this that you plant, you can get probably 10. This has just been planted, and you can see it spreading very rapidly already.
How many bags of maize did you get before, and how many after?
Before, as we have been using this method of ours, for my case, I was planting 3/4 of an acre. I used to get 3 to 4 bags. But now, as I got this knowledge, this year I've had 8.5 bags.
So that speaks for itself.
It means that we have enough food for the family for the next half of the next year. We shall not be having a problem of food.
This is a technology that we're trying to promote here in the village, and it's to protect the chicks from the predators. They get eaten by the eagles, and you can see there's a little cheap pen here we can use to pen up the chicks to stop them straying and getting eaten.
And it's the relationships that the Fips agents build that are crucial to the success of the organisation. Because they come from within the communities, other farmers trust them. The agents themselves then develop small businesses on top of their own farming activities, selling the smaller, improved packs of seeds and fertilisers, as well as developing cuttings and also bulking sites for crops and carrying out vaccinations on animals.
They might have local poultry and their local chickens, which are actually dying through this Newcastle disease. And through a simple vaccine and empowering our agricultural advisors to vaccinate against this Newcastle disease, very, very cheaply, we can keep the chickens alive.
So the Fips project is clearly gaining a foothold with the farmers here in rural Kenya. And the plan for the future is to expand this even further and into other countries in sub-Saharan Africa. But the eventual aim is for Fips to walk away completely and leave the farmers to develop the project for themselves.
Sounds a bit corny, but our mission is to put ourselves out of business, that we won't be needed anymore. And if we can get the knowledge into the hands of the local agricultural advisor or the village-based agricultural advisor, then we're not needed anymore, and the advisor can operate independently of us. And especially if we can create that link with the private sector, I think that's a very important thing, so that the private sector can actually supply the inputs for the advisor to sell, or for example to vaccinate chickens independently of us.
Farmers can do it on a large scale, and we have farmers who have adopted Fips methodologies, and they are doing well. They are harvesting even 30, 40 bags. Others can harvest, the 2 acres can produce 70 bags.
Yeah.
This is from the Kenya Seed Company.
From the Kenya City Company. This is a very, very good scheme, and I'm pleased that if we are taking it the way we have, the way it is, then we are going to have to finish the problem of hunger in this area.